White Goddess of the Moon. Moon lore is a fascinating study. In the most ancient times, the Greek lands of old matriarchal society were ruled by cults of moon priestesses. In those days, the moon had more authority than the sun. Pausing here, a matriarchy is when women are in charge. Starting again. At the time of the creation, Uranus, sky god, had given charge of the sun to his fourth son, Hyperion. Hyperion married the lovely, radiant Lady Thea. They had 3 children, Eos, Helios, and Selene. They made Eos, with her rosy fingers, goddess of the dawn, put Helios in charge of the sun, and Selene of the moon. Selene drove a silver chariot with 2 white horses over the night sky, as her brother Helios drove the golden chariot with the 4 fiery horses of the day. Her light was soft and silvery, but there was not enough of it to light up the sky every night. Some nights were moonless. Besides Selene, there were other goddesses of lesser light who were associated with the moon. Bendis of Thrace had a temple at Athens where little girls went when they were 10 years old, dressed in brown tunics. If they didn't do this, they would never marry when they grew up. Another moon goddess was Hecate, goddess of the night, who was in charge of funerals, but she also helped women give birth to babies. Clearly, the moon had great influence on important phases of human life: birth, death, marriage, and little girls growing up. No wonder ambitious Artemis wanted to have charge of the moon. She was often ruthless and hard-hearted. She had little of the gentleness of her mother Leto, or the softness of Aphrodite, the love goddess. She had a mind like a steel trap. When she wanted something, she went for it. She was more than a match for gods and men. As the great huntress, she took over temples where animals were worshipped. She pushed out Britomardis, who protected hunters, and Dictynna, goddess of nets, who protected fishermen. The revenues and gifts of their temples now came to her. She went after Bendis of Thrace and seized her temple, the one with the little girls, called the Little She-Bears. No doubt she taught them all about hunting and how to avenge the insults of men. Artemis began to take over Hecate's role too, and so became the new Lady of the Night. Still, she was a little resentful that her twin had seen more of the world than she had. It wasn't fair. When Apollo came home that night after his first ride with the horses of the sun, Artemis was quite proud of him, but said, "Look, brother, you've traveled all over to the Hyperboreans and everywhere, all those beautiful places. You traveled in that fancy chariot with the swans and the dolphins. Now our father Zeus gives you the horses of the sun, and nothing for me. It's not fair." She went on to say that the next morning she would go with him to Mount Olympus. She would remind their father that she was his daughter, the new sun god's twin. If Apollo had the chariot of Helios to light up the day, she must have the silvery fire of Selene to light the sky at night. Quite early the next morning, the brother and sister rose up to Olympus. Zeus had not expected to see his lovely daughter. It had been a long time. But when he saw her, this white goddess, chaste and fair, he saw the logic of her request. What the brother could do in the day, the sister could do in the night. So he made the white goddess the keeper of the silvery moon.